From green grass valleys and crystal lakes to the white-capped mountains of the Alps, Switzerland is breathtaking. Watches, chocolates, cheese, and banking are some of the things that come to mind when I think of Switzerland. But the country may best be known for its neutral stance in times of war, a position that's been taken for over 800 years, which probably makes a lot of sense for a country that's landlocked, and it's almost certainly why so many of its buildings and fairy tale-like architecture are so well preserved. For this two-part adventure, I'm headed to the dramatic lake region of Lucerne. A little town, more country. We'll take a walking tour of the area, which will feel like a step back in time. We'll also check out the local food scene.
Smooth, creamy raclette.
From regional traditional Swiss dishes to haute cuisine, Italian and Thai.
This is candy to me.
The food scene is as diverse as it is delicious.
Beautiful octopus. Look at that.
We'll also head into the country for a visit to the world headquarters of Victorinox.
It has 80 different functions.
It doesn't get more Swiss than Swiss Army.
Oh, that's so cool.
Followed by an incredible cooking experience with Chef Gabriele Batlogg.
Prost.
Enjoy.
Where I'll learn how to make authentic Swiss fondue. And we'll also have a little time on one of my favorite mountains, Mount Titlis.
Woo! Awesome!
Last but not least, we'll check out the hotel scene, where you can choose to be in the heart of it all, or where you might prefer a room with a view. Emphasis on view. I'm Mark Felice, and this is Eurotrotter. Welcome to Lucerne. Yodelay. Hee Hoo. Home to 81,000 residents, the official language of Lucerne is German, but the main spoken language is a dialect and variation of Alemannic Swiss German. The city is located on the shores of Lake Lucerne, hence its name, and it's nestled at the base of the Swiss Alps, within sight of Mount Pilatus and Mount Rigi. The center of this medieval city straddles the Reuss River, which runs right under the city's most famous landmark, the Chapel Bridge. Named after the nearby St. Peter's Chapel, the Chapel Bridge is a covered wooden footbridge built in the 14th century, 1367 to be specific. It is the oldest wooden covered bridge in Europe, and the world's oldest surviving truss bridge. Inside the trusses of the bridge, you'll find triangle-shaped oil paintings dating back to the 17th century, depicting Lucerne's history and promoting the Catholic Church. From the bridge, you also have a clear shot of the water tower, which also served as a dungeon, archive, and treasury vault in its day. Today, the bridge, in all of its majesty, tends to play host to a romantic evening walk. But most importantly, it connects two very different sides of the city. On the one side, you have the urban center, bustling with people, traffic, and trams. And to the east, on Haldenstrasse, an area I call Hotel Row. Whichever side you're on, the cityscape is magical, like something out of a fairy tale. And on almost every corner, you'll see a watch shop. And you will most certainly see Victorinox. So whether it's a Swiss Army knife, Victorinox luggage, or watch, you must get one. In Hotel Row, there's accessibility to the lake, with exquisite hotels, nearby shopping, ferry boats, and even swans. I find my favorite thing to do is to walk along the promenade of the lake, find a bench, and just take it all in. From there, taking the narrow, winding cobblestone streets, which boast incredible views over the lake to nearby Mount Pilatus and Mount Rigi, you'll get a taste of local life, and you'll also see some pretty cool architectural marvels. Around the corner, I stopped to check out the famous Lion Monument, a giant sandstone sculpture of a dying lion. The monument, built in 1821, is a memorial to the Swiss mercenary soldiers that lost their lives serving the French King Louis XVI during the French Revolution, and who tried to defend the royal family and help them escape when the revolutionary masses attacked the castle on August 10, 1792. And on the monument, you'll find a Latin inscription that reads, "To the loyalty and bravery of the Swiss." From there, I headed to the Musée Wall. The wall and its 9 towers is a medieval fortification that forms a jeweled crown around the old town. Built in 1400, this majestic wall is over 800 meters long, or half a mile. Even on the rainiest and coldest of days, the wall is something to see. From various art sculptures and gardens to incredible views of the lake and mountain, I even made a new friend. Walking around the wall was an interesting way to enter into Old Town. Founded in 1178, Old Town is a colorful display of buildings that flank the outflow of the lake into the Reuss River, with surrounding cobblestone streets, enormous murals, ornate iron balconies with a giant clock tower, and a water fountain. The area is a twist and turn of shops, inns, and restaurants. And my favorite pit stop after a long day of walking is Pfistern. Established in 1578, the restaurant is home to the Pfistern Guild, a guild of bakers, pastry chefs, and artisans. You can sit outside right along the river, wrapped in a blanket under a heat lamp, enjoying a Campari spritz and some fondue to the sound of church bells ringing. Or you can head inside for some beer and raclette. Inside the restaurant, you'll find a mix of old and new, with colorful coat of arms lining the wood-paneled walls and neon lights illuminating from the ceiling.
Wow, a complete Swiss feast. Raclette, potato rosti with a nice fried egg, really runny yolk, bacon, cheese, fried potato pancake. Awesome. And one of the dishes I absolutely love here is the cordon bleu. Pork, ham, Emmentaler cheese, and of course, crispy French fries.
First, the raclette, a semi-hard cheese of alpine cow's milk. While it can be served in slices, it's traditionally served by heating and then scraping off the melted part.
I think it's better when you do it.
At Pfistern, raclette is served alongside warm potatoes, which you should slice, with radishes, pickles, and pickled onions.
On top of the cheese. Oh, wow. So just like this?
Yes, and now slide it down.
In the old days, herders would carry cheese with them when moving cows from pastures in the mountains. At night, they would heat the cheese next to a campfire to soften and then scrape onto bread. And voila! The art of eating raclette was born.
You get the brine of the pickle, the punch of the onion, the bitterness of the radish, and then the smooth, creamy raclette on the very waxy potato. Out of this world delicious. The next dish is the potato rosti. Bacon, potato, cheese, and a runny egg.
Dinner was so good.
Tender pork. Look at that steam! Oh my gosh!
And on a rainy, cold day, some traditional Swiss fare and a pale lager were just what the doctor ordered. Centered between Switzerland's capital city, Bern, and its financial capital, Zurich, Lucerne is the perfect base to stay and explore the area. Today, I'm heading to the canton of Schwyz, where the actual country of Switzerland was founded. My first stop of the day is to one of the world's best-known and iconic brands, Victorinox, to their world headquarters in Ibach, Switzerland. From its world-famous pocket knives, to high-quality household and professional knives, watches, travel gear, and even fragrances, the Victorinox brand is truly multidimensional. There is a lot to see and do at the visitor center.
So cool.
During my visit, I met with Angelina.
Here you see the smallest Swiss Army knife of the world.
Look at that.
who took me on an interactive tour, starting with a quick history on the evolution of the knife. And we're talking quite the evolution, at over 5,000 years before Christ. But the coolest part of my visit was making my very own Swiss Army pocket knife, the original officers and sports knife, which you can only do at the Visitor Center in Brunnen.
We'll start with the rivets on the bottom and then we'll work us up until we are on the top.
Putting it together is an intricate process, with precise steps and techniques for each layer of the knife.
Right there?
Yeah.
I carefully placed each piece and then pulled the lever to set the pieces in place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good.
That's awesome.
Now you can leave it like this, it should solve themselves.
Okay.
With over 400 models and up to 80 different functions,
Yes.
Good.
And then again back with the hand.
I clamped each finished layer of the knife into place.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, you got it.
Perfect.
I assembled the pocket knife with a can opener, tweezer, toothpick, and several sized blades. And then of course I was confronted with a decision. Do I want a corkscrew or do I want a screwdriver? Tough choice. I'll take the corkscrew.
Yes.
This
it
is
works.
amazing. I love it. What an experience this is.
And the pièce de résistance? I got to personally engrave my knife.
Beautiful.
Looks like this.
I love it.
From the visitor center, I headed to Victorinox headquarters in Ibach to visit the factory to see where the magic happens.
You have a lot of parts you know very well.
Urs Weiss, head of product marketing, gave me a first-hand look at how involved the production process is for the pocket knives.
Here we are at the place where everything starts.
Okay.
And it all begins with steel. One thing I found interesting, but not surprising, was that Victorinox only uses French and German steel because it's all about the quality.
We use 2,500 tons of steel per year.
I'd imagine there'd be some pressure from China or other countries to try and sell the steel at a cheaper price.
They do always offers, and but you know, regarding quality, it's not the same.
Okay.
And German has a very old knife manufacturing history, such as also France, and they are really specialized in this kind of steel.
Rolled steel is fed into a machine that stamps out the blades.
Oh, wow.
The blades are then passed through a machine that uses pyramid-shaped plastic grinding tools to round the edges and smooth the blades. Afterwards, the blades receive a certificate of authority stamp before being placed into a 1050-degree oven to give them their final hardness. We then walk through the rest of the factory, where team members were focused on assembly.
You start and you assemble the half.
Okay.
Because there is not enough space to put all the different parts. And then you change the parts and you continue to finish the knife, yes. It has 80 different functions.
I then got to put the kitchen knives to the test.
Wow. That's a sharp knife.
Yes.
To end my time at Victorinox, I circled back with Urs, who took me to where it all began, to Karl Elster's cutlery workshop just outside the headquarters and factory. The name Victorinox combines the name of founder Karl Elster's mother, Victoria, with the French term for stainless steel, which is inox.
1884 was this building there, this wooden terrace.
Oh, yes.
Located in what looked like a typical Swiss chalet, the workshop was in the basement, the first floor housed the office, and the third floor was where the family lived.
Stepping into history, this is pretty cool.
Karl Elster's vision was focused on driving jobs and keeping people from leaving the area, as Switzerland, a primarily farming country, was one of the poorest countries in Europe at the time, which forced many people to leave the area in search of work.
He used to generate electricity to drive machines.
From one of the poorest countries in Europe to one of the richest, Victorinox has been a key partner in Switzerland's economic recovery and success. Following my morning at Victorinox, I was both hungry and inspired to cook. So I made my way around the corner for a cooking experience with Chef Gabriele Batlogg, who owns an incredible private cooking school in Schwyz. Walking up to the cooking school was like something out of a fairy tale. I felt like Hansel, in the middle of the most beautiful countryside, but in this story, I'm following the bread cubes to learn how to make authentic Swiss fondue.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm Mark.
I'm Gabi. Welcome.
I was greeted by Gabi, who welcomed me into her amazing kitchen, a very chic and organized space, and the smell of fresh bread baking in the oven.
Well, it smells heavenly.
Yes.
And it looks so
Yes.
great.
Crackly and crunchy on the outside, soft and airy on the inside. Heaven.
And this is typical Swiss and from the south part of Germany, from Bayern.
Okay.
They know it also. And now, if you hear?
Yeah.
It's ready. It's
Perfect.
perfect.
What's with this?
It's also a trick.
For success in the oven, a super hot stone and a pot of inox, or stainless steel bolts, heated together before putting in the bread. When the bread goes in, a little bit of hot water is added to the bolts and poof, an explosion of steam, which is totally necessary to make a great bread. And it not only aids in the rise, but apparently in the color as well.
First, we need wine.
For the fondue, we start with some white wine.
The white wine should be a little bit fruity,
Okay.
but also a little bit of sour.
And because you should always cook with the wine that you would drink, it was time for a glass.
Voila.
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
The wine, a Petit Arvin, is a white grape varietal native to the Valais region of Switzerland
Cheers.
and almost exclusively grown there. Crisp, a little fruity, and with great acidity, giving it the perfect balance.
First, I take garlic, 2. We make half.
Okay.
And, yes, and
And rub the dish.
we rub.
to get
we
all
rub-
that nice garlic oil.
Yes. I like also to have the garlic chopped,
Okay.
and later I put it inside.
If you hate working with garlic because of the strong smell and oils it leaves behind on your fingers, fear no more. Because Gabi showed me the most unusual trick to instantly get rid of the smell. Wash your hands and then rub them around the inside of a stainless steel sink. And like magic, the smell is gone.
Yeah, you're right. Gone.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good trick this is.
Also, when chopping, use the back of the knife to scrape.
Bring it.
Use the back so you don't
Use
dull the blade.
back, yes.
Yep.
I take 3 different cheese.
Okay.
Gruyere. This is Vacherin. It's from the western part of Switzerland.
Okay.
This is typical. And Alp cheese.
Alp cheese.
From Alps.
Okay.
Cheese
Okay.
from Alps.
Love it.
When working with sharp tools, kitchen lesson number 1 mark. Stop talking and don't distract the chef.
Yes.
Can get involved.
Just a moment. Hab mich gerade geschnitten.
You okay?
Yeah. It's okay.
Lesson number 2.
You're a lot faster than I am.
It's very sharp.
Always keep Band-Aids nearby when cooking.
Yes, it is! Me too! Where are the Band-Aids?
We took a little break from the fondue to get bandaged up. It wouldn't be the last time.
I think we should just throw the cheese in the pot.
Playing both chef and doctor, Gabi bandaged me up, and then it was back to it. What's a little cut and some blood, right?
Do you have any more Band-Aids? I better look at one here for myself.
I think we may have underestimated the cut.
I feel like I'm in an operating room. There's so much blood.
It was hard not to laugh watching poor Ryan and Daniel, my cameramen, getting a little squeamish with all the blood.
There's blood all over this kitchen. Did you
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
It's a horror movie. Oh, this is...
Getting back to business,
You put the cheese.
So the white wine's been heating on the stove in the pot, and now we
Yes.
add the cheese.
we added some cornstarch, some fresh lemon juice, and then it was time to add some heat and stir. And stirring the fondue is critical, in a figure-8 pattern.
It mixed better.
The figure 8 ensures that
Yes.
all of it is getting mixed and that you're not
Yes.
burning any sections that aren't
Yes.
getting hit by the spoon.
Throw in a little freshly grated nutmeg, stir in the garlic, a little schnapps for the fondue, and a splash for me. To finish it off, 2 pinches of baking soda to create a little froth to help aid in digestion, and then a quick grind of pepper. The absolute best fondue and the most incredible bread I've ever had. You have to try this recipe at home.
Okay.
How beautiful this is.
Now for some tips on enjoying the fondue. Fondue is best enjoyed with friends.
Cheers.
So we joined Gabi's husband Nick and friend Nina from Victorinox in the dining room. One of my favorite tips learned was serving some kirsch in a small dish alongside the fondue to dip your bread in. Before dipping your cheese in the fondue, first dip it in the kirsch. The combo is out of this world.
And you know, if you lose the bread in the fondue pot, you have to drink a kirsch.
Oh, really?
That's the secret.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Also, think about serving a nice sliced meat to enjoy with the fondue. Gabi served a wonderful Swiss version of brajol, which is a smoky, sweet, and delicious cured meat.
And it's very good to eat together with
Wow.
the cheese.
This is so fragrant. It's
Yes.
amazing. Oh, you're drinking the kirsch.
And don't throw away that crispy, caramelized cheese at the bottom of the fondue pot. Because in some areas of Switzerland, they actually crack an egg in the bottom and then scramble it all up with that crunchy, savory goodness.
And the bread. Oh my God. Do you ship?
Over some fondue, a little bit of blood, and a lot of laughs, I had the most amazing time. And most importantly, I met the most wonderful, welcoming, and talented chef who not only opened her home and shared her recipe for Swiss fondue, but who created a lasting impression and friendship. Danke. Thank you, Gabi. It was then on to Mount Stoos with my new Victorinox backpack to ride the world's steepest funicular to the top of the mountain.
That's about as straight up as you get.
If you don't suffer from vertigo and you'd like a little thrill, this ride is for you. Yet another marvel of Swiss engineering, the Stoosbahn. Opened in 2017, and after 14 years in the making, the Stoosbahn connects Schwyz to the alpine village of Stoos, with the funicular reaching a slope or maximum incline of 110% as it ascends the mountain. The total journey is a mile long, or about 1.6 kilometers. It takes only 4 minutes and passes through 3 tunnels. The passenger cars are barrel-shaped, like something out of a futuristic sci-fi movie. And they rotate as you go up the mountain to keep the floor level and to keep passengers in an upright standing position. Coming to the top of the mountain was surreal. Snow everywhere, freezing. I felt like we went from a sci-fi movie to now an icy thriller with no signs of life around. Check out the thriller Frozen, you'll see what I mean. And I'm not talking about the Disney movie. Clouds passed right over the mountains, casting a dark, almost navy blue sky.
Look at those beautiful clouds. Holy mackerel. People live up here on Mount Stoos. It is incredible to think that every day people take this steep, tallest funicular in the world to get to the top of the mountain, and we are here. You are here.
As there wasn't much to do at the top, except to walk around and make snowballs, I decided to have a little fun with Ryan.
There's a goat actually up there. Yeah, look, right behind you, Ryan. Right there. He's so easy!
Although a little out of breath, we wandered around. It was incredibly serene.